Good evening. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. This is Imran with you, and we have today a very special guest. His name is Zoraib, and I have another super guest, Amreen Nadeem. Today's topic is very important. This topic is a touching topic to everyone because Zoraib is going to deep dive about the education system, which all the students are going through today across the globe. And he has written down a book on the same subject. The book name is Curious Giraffe, The Curious Giraffe. So thank you very much, Zoraib. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, Amreen. Welcome.
Walaikum salam.
Assalamualaikum assalam, and thank you so much for having us. It's really an honor to be here.
Thank you, Zoraib. Thank you, Amreen. So, Zoraib, you are ready now? Yes?
Yes.
Give me a smile. We are going to talk about today only about your book and what you have thought, your vision and your mission. Yes, his book is, this is what I'm going to talk about, The Curious Giraffe. And Zoraib you have written down this book, I have gone through, and it's marvelous. So let's start our discussion now. I'll introduce you further a little bit about Zoraib and Amreen. Zoraib has written down this book at the age of 8, I think 8 or 9.
Yes.
And his thought process about this book, he's going to tell. I'm not going to reveal anything. And the good thing is, and what I want to tell you, that he is son of Amreen Nadeem, and everyone knows that who is Amreen. She is a psychologist, she is a podcast speaker, and I don't know what are all the things she's doing it. So now, Amreen and Zoraib, I'm starting with the questions about this journey of your journey. Once again, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for our audience who have joined so far. My first question to Zoraib. You have written down this book, yes? I think age of 8 or 9 when you started this and you published this book. So what was your personal experience or your life event which inspired you to write the book, The Curious Giraffe? So can you just enlighten us?
So basically, since Amreen Nadeem here has also wrote a book, I felt very inspired to also write a book and also to speak for others about the school system. And yeah,
And then you were very curious.
yeah, and also to because it's
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. I know what you want to say. So let me help you also to. So when you started this book, what was the exactly one reason you said your mother, your mom, you inspired from her because she has written a book and which was one of the greatest book on Amazon. And so one reason was that you got inspired from your mother. But I want to listen to you about that, the thought process of this theme which you have mentioned in your book, the education. So what exactly the trigger point in your school or when you were studying that you thought of, yes, I have to write something and I have to be vocal. So tell us about that.
So basically, when I went to school, I used to see some videos about some flaws, like how it can kill curiosity, and I always was very curious, and so when I heard that kill curiosity, I like wanted to speak about it. I wanted to make a voice to change the school system.
Yeah, how your friends were,
And also, yeah. So a few times when the test or exam results came in my class, a few classmates of mine would cry over like 60 or 70 marks because of like the pressure that the teachers and parents give. So I wanted to highlight that and to help depressurize
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
help them.
Yeah, interesting. I've gone through your books. So basically, what you have mentioned in your book is that the education system is boring. It's not helping to develop your skills because you wanted to learn something which is practically, we can implement in our life. And this is what the theme of your book is, where every student, I think, they are going through this similar challenge, but more or less, maybe only I can see only you in my network, that you have been vocal about this. Maybe other students, they don't talk about this, that this education system is boring. Amreen, can you just enlighten further what how his journey started?
Yes, I mean, it's a very good question, and thank you for asking. It's basically, as I told you, that he used to, from the very beginning, he never liked the school, although he always get straight A's, and he got he got very good he's very good in his studies. He like all the teachers like him, but the thing is that he wants to know more. He wanted to try to find out more about whatever is studied. And one reason is that because I always discuss everything like psychology, my book, and everything with them. So it's kind of, they have that curiosity. And that's what he mentioned, that he used to see that when the other kids don't perform well, they usually get too much pressure on that. And that's what he used to always come and say, that he doesn't like these things, the way teacher teach, the way the teacher put them in the box. So he used to nag about it, that he doesn't like his school, and that he can learn much better from, like, even from watching YouTube videos and reading books and something. Said it's much more fascinating, much more interesting to study. Anyways, I used to ignore, because I know that all the kids don't like school, so it's the normal thing, right? But
That's true.
then, yeah, and like, I used to ignore that, all the kids nag about it, so I never gave a proper kind of attention to this, and no, you have to go to school. But he was a bit persistent in that, and he used to bring about, like, he used to do a research on that. Especially after COVID, when he got access to all the gadgets, he got more accessibility, he got more, like, he can Google more, he can do more research. So after COVID, he actually started giving me more facts and figures. Like, he used to go and watch videos, that, okay, what are the flaws in the education system? So he can convince me that. So that's how he gained more knowledge about it. And then I also think that, okay, like, he's gaining more knowledge on that, and maybe, and that he got inspired by me, and he wanted to write a book. He shared a couple of times that he wanted to write a book. So I said, okay, yeah, when you grow old, then you will write, because of course I took 20 years. But then when he was constantly saying this, and he said, okay, why not write a book about now, right? And he said yes. He got excited, and I also got some support from the other people with whom I shared the idea, and they also encouraged me. And then he said, okay, let's write a book about it. So that's kind of a thinking that, it went back.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, what I learned from Zoraib, from you, is that one thing is that we need to be vocal. Whatever we think, let's be, let's spread the awareness so that others should know. So you could be, I could say, you are the first drop of the rain. So people, others will should follow actually. And secondly, what I learned from you, another one, is that, like your mother said, she took 20 years to accomplish this complete book, and you took maybe 20, less than 20, maybe months, maybe within a year or two, maybe you finish that book. That is marvelous. So this is what very promising, which we all should learn from this. My second question is a bit interesting now. So your book name is The Curious Giraffe. So when I went through this book, when I read it, The whole story is about giraffe, which is what I think of is resembling you basically. It's you.
Yes,
So
yes.
why you
Yes.
choose a giraffe animal? Why you don't like any other animal or what?
So basically, it's very unique animal, very peaceful, very like it always stands out from the rest. And secondly, there was this one time where we went to Dubai with our
Cousins.
to meet our cousin, and then my brother made like an iPhone group chat that named Curious and
Giraffe news.
Giraffe News, and they would usually like post some nonsensical, funny stories there, and so we thought do do giraffe for because of that.
Yeah, and then we also wanted to not to offend their
Yeah,
education.
and we also want to make it an animal because we didn't want to offend the school system if we just said the
Ah, that's the good point. Yes, yes,
and
yes.
also to make it more engaging for the reader.
Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise maybe you could have see some more harsh things from your teachers. Yeah, so why Zoraib you are pointing out to us? So
Yes.
you made
Yes.
it very light in a sense. It's a good approach because when you talk some serious matter in a lighter mode, it has more impact and it is easy to digest. And
Yes.
you rightly once said that giraffe is a very peaceful animal and stands tall, so
Yeah.
everybody could see. So this is two unique traits which you have identified. Good, good.
Yes.
Um,
One more thing
yeah,
that
anything? Yeah, please.
yeah, and one more thing that when we actually were discussing about that, what animal should we do this? So giraffe is also, as he said, that it's very unique, and it's the one because this is all about he was sharing the frustration, and so basically giraffe doesn't fit well with other animals as well. So
Yeah.
he's always
Mm.
he said that he's very unique and different. So that was also the one main reason.
Yeah.
His eye view is always on the top, so he
Yes.
cannot have an eye contact with other animals.
Yes,
He has
yes.
to bend a lot. So yeah, that's interesting. Okay, now my next question is we very briefly talked about maybe Ambreen, you can further elaborate, but let Zoraib start it. That the message and the theme in your book we briefly talked about. So, what exactly depth of your message and the theme you want to convey to your readers,
Yeah.
particularly the age fellows of your age, kids who are into that age, grade 4, 5, 6, even 8. So, what is the message?
It's to like never stop following your curiosity. You always follow it to
That's great.
never give up on it. And secondly, that the school system kind of kills that curiosity and makes you think in one direction. Like it directs. It's like a road sign. You only can go like you only go you can
In one
yeah
direction.
one
Yeah.
direction.
Furthermore, yeah, also curiosity.
And
Okay, so
Yeah, yeah,
basically, yeah, it's basically yes, it's basic. He is always more curious, and that's one thing that whenever even I said that. Even when I tells him that school system is okay, bad, school is good, you need to go. He always more curious to find out ways to actually convince me of some things. Right? So even when I discuss anything with him, he is more into finding out more about it because we usually I usually discuss with my kids about the spirituality, about psychology, about the universe, even the like black holes and everything. So what they do is that they like when I discuss with them, it's just something that I ask question from them. So what happens to them is that I ask question and then they get curious and then what they do is that they go on like the internet and they search for it, more knowledge about it, right? And that's what he wanted basically, and he likes he enjoys when he explores more, right? So that's what he wanted basically to that's what the that's the frustration he feels with the education system because they say that it's kind of put you in the box and think in one direction. That curiosity is there, and that's what, when I usually try to find out that what he wants to write the book, because this book is not what I have written, it's basically is his.
Yes.
And I just helped him, take out what's in his mind, because he was constantly telling me that, okay, this is bad and this is not working good. So I just wanted to ask, okay, what are the flaws, how it is, it is putting in the box or something. And then he used to do more research on that, and he used to come and tell me that this is how you can do it. And that's what exactly he wants to convey in this book as well, that it has to be fun. When you're trying to seek knowledge, it's more fun. And he also written an article about it. Maybe you can tell about it, how knowledge seeking is boring. You makes
Yeah,
the
this is the article I have just published it here.
So you
I
tell
will
us a
share
bit
the link
about
also.
how
We
knowledge,
can.
how the school system makes education seeking knowledge boring.
So when you think of knowledge, you can think of school, and then when you think of school, you might think of boredom, which means you related knowledge with boredom because of school. But when you see when you if you learn the same thing, say on the internet or on YouTube, it'd be more fun, even though it's the same thing. Like the teachers teach it in a boring way, though the topic itself it sometimes is very interesting because of how the teachers explain it or make it. You will feel that it's uninteresting, and that you just don't want to do anything or
Yeah.
don't want to learn it.
Yeah, the pressure they feel in the school, that they have to learn it. That's what
Yeah,
makes it
Yeah.
boring.
yeah,
And also written that you can, how to make it more interesting, right? So basically,
Yeah, like
yeah,
if
yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's always more fun when you do something.
yeah,
Like if you watch like any video of if somebody doing something, it would always be more fun if you did it instead of just watching it.
yeah,
So
mhm,
like when you can like test whatever you're learning,
yeah,
it would be like a lot more fun, and it would be like yeah.
yeah. What he means is like when you do it practically. So that's what it's.
yes. Yeah, you're right. I've seen a couple of examples in your book because when you say in one of the, I don't remember the page number, but you mentioned about that why planets are round. Why they are
Yeah,
not rectangle or triangle or different shapes. So
yeah.
did you ever get answer from this of this question?
Yeah, you just tell us that how you do this, because it was has a story also,
Tell me
like
about this particular question. Yes, how you
yeah,
got
that
the
when
answer
we,
and what
when
was
we
the
did when we were
story of
doing
this?
this. Yeah, that when there was like boredom, then you get into the imagination, and when the giraffe was jumping on these planets.
Yes.
Yeah, so tell us a bit more about it. What was the thinking behind it, right?
Yes,
How people,
yes,
teacher can make it bore, and how you get into the imagination, right?
So since the teacher was, like teaching while it like boringly, is that word? But uh, when he's doing that, he fell into his imagination and started to think about like jumping on the planet and stuff. And then when he fell, he asked a question,
Yeah,
and when he asked the question of why plants around, the teacher did not understand. And when he went home, he kind of Googled it and stuff.
and then he
So
got the
yeah, and
answer.
he got the answer. But when
yeah, you did.
but when the he shared it with the teacher next day, instead of being like help or like supportive, the teacher was mean
Yeah,
um
yeah.
uh, and
Yeah, it did
I'm
not
not
try. Yeah,
phrases.
it did not,
It
they
did,
did not encourage,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
There's something, it's,
Discouraged.
yeah, discouraged.
Discouraged.
And this basically, what was the point was when we were actually trying to, we was writing about this. So
No worries, no
the,
worries, no worries. This is the part of the life. This is the fun of the life.
yeah.
Don't worry.
So, yeah. So basically, it's he always used to come and say that, when there's a the lecture is going on and boring, so the attention span of the kids is very small, and when the
Mm,
teacher don't teach them in the right way, they go into the imagination. But again, this is very important that I actually discuss with him, and I usually say that imagination is very crucial, because when you let your kids to have that, to tap into the imagination, they can get more curious, and they can get more question from that imagination. Let their mind be like wander around this. That's one thing, because it's something, the book, when we were writing this, it's all about, the book, what we have written in the book is more of like, my and me, like me and Zoraib, like it's usually have that discussion. So whatever the
mhm.
discussion we usually have, we put it in the in the book, because that's what I said, that when we decided that how we gonna write the book, because of course he doesn't have the idea, and said like, so you, because he had already done so much research, and said, okay, I told him that whatever we do as a conversation, we'll do right in this book. And that's exactly what happened, is like, when he used to come and say that, okay, he was getting bored, and he went to do the imagination, and I said, like, how many times you do this? He said, I like all the time, because when this is happening. And then I used to say, okay, what do you think, and why do you think? And he said, like, these are the things that he has in the mind, and he always think that, this imagination is very important. And I made him realize also that this is very important, and that's what he wanted to tell to the students, or the parents or the teacher, that this imagination is the key curiosity. So that's what the main point is, that when he was writing this, we specifically wanted to highlight that point, that that kind of imagination, when you get into it, when teacher asks you not to think, it is basically not the right approach. You let their mind be wander around, and then come up with the question. And that's exactly what he felt, as if this he felt frustration when he asked the question to the teacher, because teachers don't understand, because their imagination goes beyond teachers lesson. So that's what exactly he wanted to say.
That's great. That's great. Let me share you my life. One when I was Zoraib, almost of maybe your age, I had one similar question and curiosity. That time, unfortunately, we did not have YouTube. Mr. Google was not there. No information. Actually, internet was not there that time,
Okay.
and even mobile phone were not there, if I remember exactly. My question, which I asked my teacher or my parents and wherever, that I see that this is the world, this is the planet where we are living, and when we see on the top there is a sky. Yeah. So my question, my mind was always asking this question, that we say that sky is very big and we have so many planets around our planet Earth. There are sun, there are so many other planets, stars are there. But why we see that? Because my vision was only when I was seeing on the top of the when I was seeing the upside, I see only the sky. I could not see that beyond sky the earth is goal and all these things. So my question was that if sun is so big and stars are so big and earth is very small, then why I can see only they are getting adjusted between sky and earth? So this was the funny question I had it. And I went to my science teacher. I think I was in grade 6 or 7.
Mm.
I was little elder than you. Then the teacher explained me very well. He took two, three, balls. Basically, he said, "This is your Earth. This is your sun, and around it there is the sky." So he explained very well. So I was, I got that answer that time. So this kind of curiosity is very important in students in your age of, because Ambreen, you know well more than me even that curiosity starts the thought process, and thought process starts your brain more. It becomes more effective and efficient when we start asking questions out of this curiosity. Why it is like this? Why not that? Unfortunately, in today's generation, we have Mr. Google and so much information is available. But again, one more important thing is that the information is so huge. We need to capture which is the right information.
Yes,
That
that's
is
what he
important.
talked about, the critical thinking
Exactly,
part.
exactly, exactly. That's great. Amazing to know that. My next point is, now we talked about maybe for our audience who are watching us, they need to read this book. Worth to read this book. I have gone through. I could not finish it complete word by word. I have to read again and again to learn so many things. But for our audience, you must go to read. You must read this book. Go through this all. Book is available on Amazon, and yeah, I think it's available in Saudi as well.
Yeah, Jareer. It's
Yes.
On
Jareer
uh,
also.
which
Yes.
which bookstore?
Jareer,
Javier.
Jareer. Jareer book
Jarir
is,
book.
yeah, it's one of
Jarir.
the
So,
like biggest
biggest store in Saudi.
bookstore.
So
Yeah,
it's
it's
available
available.
paper book. So
Yeah.
let's go to the next point. What challenges did you face when you started writing the book? You mentioned about your support was always your mother, your mom was always there. But what challenges you started facing in the beginning?
Well, you see, my family has always been supporting me on this book, has never been against me on this. So they've always supported me. So I've never really gotten too much challenges. My mother has kind of received all the challenges with not only placing it on Javier, but publishing it, pla- and placing it on Amazon. So
Yeah, the kind of thing that's basically
She was the
because,
shield.
yeah, the thing is, the major challenge that we had was it's basically because he had the idea. He just shared with me that, okay, he wanted to write a book. And it was all my task to actually help him out because I was thinking that how to do this, how to get it published, the marketing thing, and everything was something that I do. So, I think is the main challenge maybe that one he had might have experienced. This could be that he had to sacrifice the gaming thing and but he likes writing. So that's what, like, when you ask us to prepare all these things, and I asked him that what challenges you said. He said, like, I didn't face any challenges. Like, okay, you can face, like, I face all of the challenges because
Your mother faced million challenges and she protected you.
yeah, so basically I needed to find out that, okay, how to publish it, because he was never, of course, not into, he didn't have to find out the editor, he didn't have to do the cover design or something. Of course I was doing it, but I need to find it out that the right person who could help me. I needed to find that, like, how we can, make it more available, make it more visible. So these are the things that, for me, the main challenge was basically, it's and what is, even now, is that, he's kind of, what his thinking is kind of more talked to adults, right? Because of course kids of his age is still don't have that kind of understanding that, what are the flaws of education system. He knows it because he's done a lot of research. So the thing is, what I find, the main difficulty I face is that, this book is really good, but it talks, when you share it with the kids enjoy it as an adventurous part. Somehow they enjoy, they agree that the education system is bad or something. They feel the frustration, but they are not able to pinpoint. So, the thing is that they speak to the kids, they understand it, but, when I was trying to, make a group, make a community where people can actually talk about it and share about this, it's somehow, that is one challenge, that, he's kind of very unique. He shares it, but not the other kids. It's more like talks to more adults also in that way. So that's one problem that I
Yeah,
face.
So what I could feel is that his intellectual level is upgraded already to an adult age. And uh, Zoraib, then what I suggest you make me your friend. I'm curious about this education system, and I have some kind of similar thought which you think about. So let's be good friend, and we share our knowledge, we share our challenges to each other, and then let's see who joins us further. Yeah.
Yes, yes, definitely.
And what one more question, Zareb, you when you started writing this book, you mentioned about the challenges and this. Uh, when you narrated all these contents in the in the written form, you involved some more characters in between. Uncle John and I forgot one more
Kelly, yeah,
character. Huh? Who are other characters? Tell me
yeah,
about those characters
yeah.
and how you perceive those characters.
Okay. So, yeah, is that the tell about the
Are they
Chip
real character in your life, or you just created new?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's basically he's asking that what kind of like the how you come up with the Chip Kelly and all these sort of
Yes,
things. 'Cause,
exactly.
yeah, it's your friend,
So,
right? It's basically the way. Yeah.
so Chip Kelly is
It's not Chip Khalid, it's
Yeah, actually, the thing is, it also has a story about this. It's Chip Kili because we were thinking of funny name, and like Chip Kili is actually is in Urdu. It is a lizard, right? And
yes, that's what
and
I'm saying.
and when we actually tried to find out that okay, because we wanted to come up with this funny name, and our my daughter usually was helping us, and so like we were thinking that okay, because his character giraffe represents him, and it's like okay, what other like his friend, we need to find a name and something. And Chipkali is Urdu is because it's like giraffe is so tall and Chipkali is literally
Very small. Yeah,
very,
yeah.
and first we thought that we can make it, but it's very small, right? And then we said okay, then we need to make it because we need to make a fun, right? And then we said that okay, and then we said we were thinking of the characters, and he came up said okay, the monkey is very funny character, and they said okay, but don't call it a monkey, we call it Chip Kelly. And then we actually look for this, then we found that there is actually a name which is Chip Kelly is real name of someone like maybe a football star or something. And said okay, I think let's adopt it.
It is
So like
matching.
yeah, so each and everything we just had, it was a very fun project that we did. I mean, I really enjoyed it because when I used to discuss with my kids, and because I wanted to put the said when I want we were like when he was writing this, I just wanted to ask. I usually used to ask question, okay, what do you think the who would be your friend? And he said, okay, my friend would be like this. And okay, said okay, let's write about it. And he used to write about his friend, and then we usually said okay, this is how you write it, then how you can link it with this. So it's the entire process was really, I enjoyed it. And that's why like also very I'm also like now passionate about it, like that how we can bring about the change in the education system, because I feel that if that kind of systems can be adopted, uh, pe- children can learn, children can do much better. I mean, if he can write the book in that way, I know that other kids can do that also. It's just a matter of bringing out that curiosity in them and
That's
bringing
true.
out all these
That's true.
things. So okay, let's talk about the Chip Kelly and something, that how was his friend, like it was just like his friend, right?
yes.
So talk about it.
So Chip Kelly was his best friend, like, and was always very supportive of him.
Mhm. Who understands him?
Yeah, who understand, just like a good friend,
Mhm. A partner in crime,
and
right?
yeah, a partner in curiosity.
Yeah, curiosity. And
Uh,
then
and then
yeah, what things you used to do with the friend, right?
play games and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah. You just say this.
and share information. You know,
So yeah, so that was basically all the representation of his friends. What he does with the friend, he just put it there.
So
and
basically, yeah, carry on, carry on. Sorry.
Uncle John is It's basically just like a very adventurous uncle.
Yeah, and
Like,
wise, right?
yeah, wise. I'm pretty sure he had a few artifacts in his room.
Yeah, yeah. So
So,
that's basically because it's like when we were thinking that what kind of like we needed to they were very curious or something, and then one thing that because we needed to make it more real life, right? Because whatever he used to come, and then he said, okay, we question things. Okay, that this is the story that because um, the giraffe wanted to go to Amazon, right?
Yes.
And when we were discussing, I said, like, Mama, would you allow me to go to Amazon? I said, no, I would not allow you to go to Amazon alone. And then he said, okay, if you don't want me to go to Amazon, then how giraffe can go? And I said, okay, that's a good question. And then we said, okay, so then we're thinking that, okay, then we need someone who can take care of the kids, right? And that's the entire thing, because as I said, this is the book is more of a conversation between me and him, right? Because he said that's what the point then we added in the book, that when he has to convince his parents to actually go for this, because when he actually asked me that, would you give me the permission, I said, no, I would not give you the permission to go alone in the Amazon. And I said, okay, then. And he said, what would I do to do this? And he said, okay, you need to convince me in that. And then he said, okay, what were if you had to how would you convince me? Then he said, okay, I'll do the Google thing. And then so like it's exactly what is written in the book. And then whatever is say this, I wanted, when I told him that I wanted someone elder who could be taken care of, and said, okay, then who could be the elder? So that's how, like, each character evolved in the story, and we actually think of when we thought of making a plot making it in the real life. And as I said, like it was all basically the conversation kind of between me and him. So like, because we're gonna put it in the way, so that's how it came into the book form.
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, this basically, the theory, the complete book within the book it's in the theory form, but I can see a lot of practicalities in when you are just mentioning it, that when it is basically a conversation between you and Zoraib, and further explored his thought process and put it into a form of theory. But I see it's more than theory, because I see when I went through this book, a lot of practicalities are there. When you visited Arizona and Amazon, and then you visited with your friends, with Uncle John, and what all the you know all these events. When it's a long story, if we talk about it, we need maybe more time. Interesting. And then the whole journey of Amazon was again roaming around the curiosity and the learning of the life, and this interesting, and what's to read this book again and again. Now, Zareb, now my I think another point which is coming in my mind is that out of this whole book, what did impact, or what kind of impact you observe when students or children of your age are reading this book, or adults are reading this book? So tell me some one or two experiences, if anyone read this book and they approach to you, particularly of your age.
So when I checked the reviews, they're always like agreeing, and even the adults reading this felt it relatable.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, even the young kids, when they come and then say that it's really relatable, they can understand, right, what you're saying. It's much more how they feel.
yeah. I think that the parents that were reading this started to less pressurized, I think.
Yeah,
But
Mhm, mhm.
yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's basically it's. And the thing is, the good thing is that, especially like the kind of feedback we are receiving, is really amazing, that people can just say that they can relate to what they're saying. Even the, as he mentioned, that even the adults actually say that that the education system is boring. And interestingly, what I feel is the adult actually relate more
Yes,
than
that's
the
true.
kids, because the thing is that the kids do go through these pressure, but somehow they don't they don't speak up. And
Yes.
that's the main problem. That's the main problem, that although like kids, we've got like a very good, I posted few pictures, and the kids are reading this, they're finding more adventurous and something. They also like this idea that this is the education system, and this is how they feel they can relate to it. But the kids, as I mentioned, that they don't understand about this, the education part, right? Which is more the education part, when he speaks about it, it's more related, it's more relatable, or adults find it more relatable instead of kids.
Yeah. Yeah, you rightly said. Actually, the challenge which education system has is adults. We know we'll see a lot of information around that education system is not what we see today. We are getting certificates and degrees, but at the end, practicality is maybe 5% maximum. And this is the unfortunate part of this education system.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And second thing, which I think it was mentioned in the book as well, that the education system of our generation, more or less, it is continuing with the new generation. While today we see our young generation and our kids, they are into a technology era, and then it has to be upgraded along the way whenever we see it drastic changes.
Yes.
Zoraib, my one, my one, the youngest son is of your age. I'm going to ask him to read this book. Let him read this book, and let's see what his thought is, about this. He's of your age, and let's see. Interesting, very interesting. So, when is your next book coming up, Mr. Zoraib?
Basically, when we have enough free time, because I still have school, and
Uh,
she also has a lot of work to do. So when we have enough free time to uh, to do it, then definitely we will do it as quick as possible.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, he's very much. He always just wanted me to say, Mama, I want to write another book and something. He comes up with the idea or something, but we need to actually sit down together, because it's he needs my help also, because we need to
of
I
course.
what we the entire process was basically, I usually sit with him and I just make him write the kind of, like, we make the mind maps, we see that, okay, that what would be the story. Then I give him some kind of task that, okay, you need to do this. And he gladly does this. He always, like, spends time, does the research, he knows that what he wants to write in the next book, he has some idea, he has some story. So it's one thing, also I what I feel is that, we need to give some time, because ideas needs to flourish over time. It's not something, we cannot rush the process. So I just say, okay, think over it and then come back, think over it, and
Yes.
then we just need to do this. So he's doing the research also. And since, yeah, I have a lot of work, so
I know you're very busy. Yeah.
yeah, we will we'll do it. But the thing is that one thing that I also want him is that so many things that we need to actually do uh, with the first book also. So many, like, we need to start the YouTube channel for this, because that's what the point was, that we needed to wanted to start, like, giraffe news or something, which was the idea of my eldest son. And that's what we say, that okay, we can carry on with this. We need to start doing some more activities with the first book, and then we need to do it, because it's not something just writing a book and that's it. We need to
Yes.
make it more known,
Effective
or
and
like to
known,
create
and
a
yes,
impact in the
exactly.
first book, and then we can move on to the second book. So
Yeah, yeah, interesting.
yeah.
Zareb, this is, the age which you are today, and this is the, you know, your vision and what you want to do in the life, it is phenomenal. I've rarely seen such things, mashallah. I've rarely seen much such things in others, you know. Never ever stop your passion. So continue, keep following your mother, keep following your father, your siblings. I want to do this.
Yeah.
You will get opportunities. And which grade you are studying now? Let's talk about something outside of your curiosity, curious
Yeah.
geography, something else.
I'm in grade 5 right now. I'm
Mashallah,
actually
grade
having,
five.
Yeah.
I'm actually having my exams tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, so your time is very precious. So we'll wind up another few minutes. So next question. I know you don't like studies, but you are very passionate about education. So do you still like any subject which interests you?
Well,
Difficult question.
it really depends on the teacher, because like I none of my teachers are like too like very much likable, but they all are good. They all are respectable in some way. I can't find like a favorite subject, since it's kind of the same to me.
Mhm.
Like
So, what do you want to do? I mean, what do you want to study more? What
like
interests you more?
I mean, if in the higher grades, I think science would interest me, but right now it's just not that interesting because it's very simple in my grade.
Yeah,
There's sound vibrates,
Yeah.
sounds just vibrations. That's basically what I'm learning in science. But
interesting,
yeah,
interesting. Good.
Yeah.
And do you play any sports, any games other than which you have written? I think chess. Other than chess, anything else? Physical sports you like? Any games?
I I like to play mostly online games, but I also like to play squash and
Yeah. Swimming.
So you have
swimming.
all the unique qualities, yes? All
Yes,
the unique things which normally of your age don't like to do it.
Yeah. He likes
yes,
swimming also, right? He
yes,
likes swimming.
So he's exceptional, mashallah.
yeah.
Good, good. So what do you want to be in the future? You talked about your subjects, you talked about a lot of things. So where do you see when you grow up?
Well, I don't really have an exact answer, but author primarily to change the school system, and yeah,
So you are challenging status quo of education system. That's
yes,
great. That's great. We are all with you. Beyond that, and your parent support, your sibling support, and all support is always with you. Last point, last question. Any message to convey to our audience, particularly of your young age, students and kids?
and for the young people watching this, don't give up on your curiosity.
That's
Always
great.
follow it.
That's
And
great.
for
That's
the
great.
parents and teachers, I don't stress your kids or students about exams. Like
Yeah. Getting good grades. Yes.
yes, it should be about what you lose, or it should be about what you gain. Like if you get low marks, you can lose something, but you should like get a deep discussion on why. But when you get high grades, you should get something.
Yeah. Praise
Yeah,
something, a reward.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's great. And Ambreen, being a mother, what is your message for those parents who have similar kind of, visionary kids in their home?
Yeah, I would just say that, listen to your kids. I mean, this is very, very important. Sometimes even what they say is very general thing, right? Like that he doesn't want you to go to school or he doesn't like a school, which is very general. But the thing is you listen to them to find out why they are saying it. It's very important that, you have that kind of connection with them. And as he said that, the curiosity part is very, very important for the current generation. And one thing that you also mentioned about this earlier, that there is a wealth of information out there on Google and everything. And there is also a very much possibility that if you do not guide your kid, they can go astray, right?
Yeah.
So that's
That's
very important that you, as a parent, you need to guide your kids to have that critical thinking, that don't take every knowledge on the face value.
exactly.
Ask question, and that's where is the curiosity comes in, that
That's true.
use your curiosity in a way to have that critical thinking, to ask question, that even if you find something on the Google, if it doesn't make sense, try to find out what could be the right information.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
That's
one.
important. Yeah. The right information should reach, and parents should guide, should monitor and filter that information, which has to go to their kids. Thank you very much, Ambreen and Zoraib. Let me go through quickly some of the comments. Some compliments are there. I'll publish it here. Let's see. Dr. Barbara, she's saying, so good to see you both, Ambreen and Zoraib. Congratulations, Zoraib. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you for your kind message. Let's see some more interesting. She's again saying, happy Saturday, same to you. Then couple of them. Oh yes, Zoraib, all my three kids bored their way through school where their questions were ignored. Interesting. So Hakum, if I pronounce it correctly, so you are also going through the similar challenge. That's very common most of the students. Any other point? Curiosity is power. Yes, Barbara, you rightly said, and couple of more, and then we can find out. Absolutely, young man. When learning is practical, it inspires one to want to learn more. This is true even for adults. That's true. That's true. Everett, if I pronounce it rightly. Thank you very much for your comment. Yet the focus is more on the for virtual or format than results. That's true. Uh, let's see some of them more. Yeah, teachers are misled that their lesson is superior to students' learning. Yeah, sometimes they enforce their thought process. That's. I think we have many more comments. We'll address them in the LinkedIn post. Thank you, Ambreen. Thank you, Zoraib. It was a wonderful session. I myself enjoyed, and I'm sure our audience they must have enjoyed. And this is the time when encourage everyone to read this book. You will learn a lot of more things which we could not maybe talk about due to the time limitations. And thank you once again, and thank you our audience. Your presence was precious to us. Thank you, Zareb. Wish you all the best for tomorrow's exam. Take care.
Yeah, thank you so much, Imran, for having us, and thanks to all those like Hakun and Barbara and all those, like they are very good friends of mine. And thanks for joining, and thanks for sharing those engaging comments. It really, I mean, I'm so glad that the conversation resonated well with you, and I'm sure it helps. So thank you so much, Imran, and thanks to all of the audience.
Thank you very much. Zareb,
Yes.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
bye bye. Take care.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.